Hello everyone, this is Barbara with All Inspired Treasures, and this is my baby Darren, and I am going to show you how to modify a pacifier to fit in his mouth. Now, if you have a baby Darren, you know that his mouth is really a tiny opening. It doesn't matter how tiny the pacifier you get is, it's probably not going to fit into his mouth. So I'm going to show you how to modify a pacifier for an open mouth vinyl baby like baby Darren. Say goodbye to baby Darren for now. All right, so I have here the pacifier that I'm going to modify. We actually have these pacifiers available at the store, and they come either you can order it regular for a silicone baby, or you can order it magnetic. I don't modify it for the babies because there's a specific measurements that you need to take to be able to modify a pacifier for a semi-open or open mouth baby. So I cannot modify it, but I can make it reversible magnet. And but I'm going to show you how to modify it. What you're going to need is very simple. You're going to need a Sharpie. You're going to need an X-Acto knife, and you're going to need scissors, of course. You're also going to need, preferably, a measuring tape like this one, like the seamstress kind of measuring tape. All right, because you need to measure the okay, here we are. You need to measure the depth of the mouth, and you need to measure the how wide that mouth is open. Okay, so let's start with that. I'm gonna put these things away for a second and bring baby Darren back. Now, baby Darren's, you need to measure for baby Darren. You need to measure from side to side how wide is that opening, and you also need to measure how deep that opening is, and also always consider the lips. You have to measure from the inside of the mouth to where his lip ends. Okay, so let's start with that. I usually put the measuring tape inside his mouth until I cannot go anymore, and I know that it's half an inch. His mouth opening, let me make sure of that, his mouth opening is exactly half an inch. Now, how deep it is, let's see now, goes into his mouth. And it is just a little bit shy, more than half an inch. It's just a little bit shy, more than half an inch. Okay, so once I have my measurements, I am going to put baby Darren aside, and I am going to show you how to modify it. Here's our pacifier. Okay, so the first cut that we're going to make is the horizontal cut, which is for the depth. Okay, so let me mark first of all my, don't be scared to mark the silicone. The silicone Sharpie doesn't stay on silicone. It can be, actually you can erase it. So I put my measuring tape here and forgot to open my Sharpie. So I measure from here to my half an inch, because I said it was a little over, just a tiny bit over half an inch. So there is my mark. Okay, and that's how deep that binky can go into his mouth. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right there on that line as straight as possible. And if you have like little bumps like that, like I just left here, a little bump, just fix it. Just work with it until it's fixed. All right, so there it is. Now I have the depth, how deep that binky can go in. Now I have to work with how wide it is. And I know, because we already took the measurement, that it is about 1/2 inch wide. So when I do, I'm gonna do this the other way. So when I cut my sides, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eliminate these sides, both sides of it, here and here. Let me show you without it. I'm gonna eliminate this, and I'm gonna eliminate this part right here. So I'm gonna make now a vertical cut from top to bottom, from top to bottom. But first of all, I'm going to measure it. So my 1/2 inch is right there. So I'm gonna put it more or less in the middle. And I'm gonna make tiny marks on the top, at the very top. Here's one, and here's the other one. Okay, once I have my 2 marks right there, making sure that they are even. Okay, once I have my 2 measurements there, whoops, something happened to the camera. There you are. Those are my 2 measurements right there. Let me close my Sharpie. Closing my Sharpie. I am going to cut, whoops, from top to bottom. So I'm going to cut from top to bottom vertically like this. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to do it right here. I'm cutting shy a little less than that on this side. With better scissors than this, I am going to turn it. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. Okay, and what you're going to get is these 2 flaps on the sides. 1 flap and 2 flaps. So there are the flaps, 1 and 2. Okay, and that's where your X-Acto knife comes in handy. You're going to take your X-Acto knife and you very gently, very carefully, you're going to eliminate those 2 flaps. Almost there. There you go. 1 flap eliminated. Oops. Okay. We need to change the knife on this one. I have replacement ones. Okay, so this one doesn't want to be eliminated. Almost there. Oh, this one is really stubborn. Okay. Which means that this nipple is really good, because it's not coming out. It just simply doesn't want to. It's like, no. All right, here we go. Now close your, put the cap on your, and there you go. You have, this is what you get. And as you can see, there's a little flap here that it is not quite completely straight. So you take your scissors and you make it straight. And there you go. As simple as that. Now let's try it on baby Darren. And let me eliminate the scissors from here because I don't want the scissors anywhere close to my baby. All right, so here we go. And moment of truth. You gotta wiggle it a little bit, of course. If it's too big, you can still cut a little bit, which is going to be the case here. Yeah, this one needs to be cut a little bit because it's too, let me see if it's too wide. It actually fits. I just wanted to cut a little bit because I think it's too, it won't fall, as you can see. Okay, so that's why it's very important to measure the opening of the mouth. Now what I'm going to do is, I think what it is, it's too tall, let's just say it, and for the depth of his mouth. So that's why it's better to cut a little more, because if you mess up, it's better to mess up that you have to cut, not mess up that you have to add, because there's nothing else that you can add to it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to actually make it a little bit straighter over here on this side, even though I think it went in perfectly. Okay, so I am going to cut one side at a time and just the hair of it. I'm not gonna cut too much. Cutting just the hair of it. That's it. I just cut a little hair of it. As you can see on both sides. There you go. And let's try again. Our baby's doing so well. So it's better to have a little bit of wiggling in than to have it falling all the time. And there you go. That is perfect. In again. And there you go. And it will not fall off his mouth, as you can see. And that is the reason why it's so important to measure the inside of the of the baby's mouth. Okay, so this is how it. Let me see if I can put. This is how it looks. I'm gonna put the camera a little higher so you can see this is how it looks. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.